Liverpool last season went ahead and won the Premier League title. And heading into the summer, they have not messed around at all getting their transfer business done, or tried to be done. The first signings through the door in Jeremy Frimpong, £35 million from Leverkusen, but that's not the only player they want from Erik ten Hag's side, because Florian Wirtz apparently wants a move to Liverpool, but £113 million rejected. So Arne Slot has decisions to make as we enter the 25-26 season, trying to retain a title and go one further in other competitions, solidifying Liverpool as the best team in Europe, not just England, and Arne Slot as one of the best managers as we aim to win every trophy. With this team right here, as yes people, welcome back. We are here with Liverpool for next season. New transfers are incoming, as one of them is already into the team right now. You can see I've placed him at right back. Jeremy Frimpong, 35 million. Losing Trent Alexander-Arnold means they've had to go in for this man, and I think it is a perfect signing. A Dutch manager. He's only 24, so good youth-wise. And as you can see for this new season, we've got the new kits loaded in. We've got the new everything. We've got the 33-year-old Mohamed Salah, who was just brilliant in the season gone. We've got all the players back from their loan deal, so a little bit of increase in players I forgot, like Stefan Bajcetic. Probably butchered his name. We've got Georgi Mamardashvili back to replace the outgoing Kelleher, because he's one of the players also who's left, as well as Trent, who's now at Real Madrid, and I think that's honestly a good fit for him. As speaking of a good fit, we've got to get Frimpong playing as a right back, and in order to complete today's challenge, we must win every single trophy, including the Ballon d'Or. That's right, we want that one as well. And one player in the race for it in real life, already mentioned, is Salah. If he could win it season 1, that would be really good in completing objectives. However, in terms of completing this team, we are a far way off it. Now, I know it's just won the Premier League, but I kind of don't rate it too much so far. We've got Dominic Szoboszlai rumoured to be took over by a certain player incoming, but 113 million rejected for Florian Wirtz, and this time the budget for this season is only £15 million. I removed 35 million because I'm replicating Frimpong's price, and then that budget is terrible, as what do the board want? What do they expect after winning the league and only giving us 15 million after signing Frimpong, another league title, another cup, and then going and winning the Champions League? Terrible budget given to us, but then again, this summer is just starting out, so there's some players that are rumoured to leave still. And if we get rid of those to get this big player in that we do want to get in, I think it's reasonable, as Darwin Núñez to Brighton Hove Albion. He is one of the players rumoured to leave, and now this guy's just got his own chance. But let's be frank, the game time for Federico Chiesa was not enough at Liverpool. And Jarell Quansah, 7.7 million going to Wolfsburg. A player that didn't really start off well in that Ipswich Town first game of the season under Arne Slot, which I think cemented that he didn't fancy him. We've got Van Dijk, we've got Konate, and now we've got £83 million. I think that still means another big outgoing, and I think I've just got the man who could leave the club, and it is this man, Luis Diaz. I'm only going off some rumours. There's rumours to Saudi Arabia and to Barcelona. However, in this save, Crystal Palace, the first to put a bid in, and they're the first to win the man over. I could have sold Alisson, Mamardashvili, 2 quality keepers at the club, but none are rumoured with moves away. So 138 million, you know what that means? Despite some left-back speculation going on, which we will get to shortly, the first signing to the club just has to be Florian Wirtz. 131 million for the 91 rated 22-year-old, who is literally on par with Salah, who I'm hoping can win the Ballon d'Or in season 1. That is one thing we'd like to tick off in season 1, but can we get it done? Oh, but no. When you really think Mohamed Salah's gonna win it, Khvicha goes and gets it, and I mean, he did win 4 titles. A few with Napoli and a few with PSG, including the UCL title. I mean, we've got to probably do that if we want to win it ourselves with a player. Now, Salah is 91 rated, Wirtz is 94, so his impact at Liverpool definitely might come in this year. If he does join, the rest of the team is slightly going down with Van Dijk at the back, but then Jota, I tried to manifest some growth in this man by wearing the Liverpool kit, plus I knew I was selling Darwin Núñez, and he's gone up +2. Will he be our striker long term? Probably not. As you can see, he only scored 2 more than Jadon Danns. Even Gravenberg scored more. We've got Salah with 39 and 20 assists. Cody Gakpo with a lot. So I've got to say, Salah, if we win the UCL, should be Ballon d'Or worthy. However, the Ballon d'Or isn't the only trophy we want to win. We've got to win everything we are in. As no, we don't go back-to-back with the titles. Manchester City are back. They've signed Cherki, they've signed Reinders, and they've beaten us by 3 points. The same bloody goal difference as well. We scored the most goals in the league. And we do get our first trophy, though. The Community Shield. Get in there. We're going to count trophies once each. So that's the Community Shield in the cabinet. And 1 of 7 ticked off our list. As the FA Cup goes to Tottenham over Championship Leicester City. The Carabao to Manchester City. Even the rivals Everton in the final. And the Super Cup we've got to try and win, but we're not in it. That's won by Tottenham. Huge surprise there as we finish 5th in the UCL League phase. And then beat Wolfsburg, who have just signed Gerald Kwanzaa from us. Then beat Barcelona on penalties. Very lucky to get past them. Oh, but Real Madrid, and with Jude, with Trent Alexander-Arnold, they beat us. As one thing I do want to check before we get going in this season, Fulham above Bournemouth. Now that's interesting, and I'll tell you why shortly. For when we get into next season, that is crucial. But before we actually do get going, if you guys could subscribe, because we're on the race to 60,000 subscribers, and also leave a like. Also, leave a comment if you've got something to tell me, because I'm going to try and get through your suggestions before FC26 does come out. At this moment in time, though, here we are with Liverpool now in the 2026-27 season, and the team, a lot on international duty apart from the goalkeeper, which is still Alisson at 33, going strong. However, Robertson at 32, not as strong. He's gone from an 87 to an 83 overall. I think in the last 2 FIFAs and FCs. A big decrease over the last 2 years, but now I looked at Bournemouth and Fulham as I wanted to give these 2 lads the benefit of the doubt, but they've both moved shortly after we didn't go in for them last season because we stuck with Robertson, Kerkez, and Robinson. He's got a lot of play styles, but then Kerkez is 22. These 2 linked with Liverpool. I opted against them in season 1 in this rebuild, and now we've got 116 million. We have got to prioritize getting one of those, and I think that's more important than a striker because we have Salah scoring goals, and the man I'm going to go for is Milos Kerkez. Yes, I know he's the most obvious choice. However, sometimes you've got to go for them obvious choices. He can link up with Szoboszlai, who is currently still on the bench, and we do need another bench striker because Danza's down there. But one thing I did miss off in season 1, yes, we won a Community Shield, but his tactics. High defensive approach with short passing. A little bit like Slot's philosophy, not too in deep. As I'm going to change the shape up slightly as well. Florian Wirtz getting a little more attacking in there. We've got Gakpo on his playstyle ++. Salah on his playstyle ++. And also something I've not mentioned, a bench and reserve pile full of talent. Now we're flying further into the future. Mohamed Salah and co are going to go down in rating. So Harvey Elliott is a player rumoured with a move away a little bit. But we're going to try him at right mid, and we're going to try Curtis Jones a bit more defensive. Dominic Szoboszlai can play further forward, and one change I have already made is Stefan Bajcetic to a centre-back. I trust this guy. I don't know where he got loaned out to, but he can be the next Kwanzaa. Although at the time being, Joe Gomez is capable as a backup option. So after signing Kerkez from Atalanta, I'm going to help them out by loaning out Bajcetic Bajcetic, giving him a bit of game time, and we've got 33 million after contracts. That is enough for me because I'm going to sign a striker that isn't first choice, or in fact isn't a striker at all. I read this wrong, but I'm looking into rumours, and a rumour they have for a youngster is Lomadou Lamin Sonko. The Swede could be important down the line, and you will see why in a while. This season might not play. We'll probably have to loan out Ben Doak to get this man on the bench, but a 6.8 million release clause, only 21-year-old, played in the Pro League, and I think could grow into something special. One season at Liverpool as well, and that is what it does to you. You go up by 4. Now he's a 76 at 22, much better. If you saw that in career mode and you were like a mid-table Premier League team, you definitely want it. As one thing that's shocking me, Van Dijk now an 83. He is now 35. He is significantly lower than Kanate. Maybe another centre-back starter needed. Frimpong 91. However, nothing is comparing to the absolute wonderkid Florian Wirtz, 96 overall at 24. He's our Ballon d'Or winner. If we can get him to that level, as Mohamed Salah scores 30, he scores 30. Jota got 22. A lot better from our striker, but he's 30. Dan's only got 3, so I think a striker is the move next season. Bajcetic to a 78, but the other player we loaned out, Ben Doak. Could Doak replace Salah once Salah goes? Because he will go at one point, as it looks like we have gone. What is that finish for Liverpool? 5th in the Premier League. Oh dear. 5th by 2 points. Aston Villa jump into the Champions League. 2 seasons from now, there's no UCL. If this save is predicting real life, at least we do have 1 trophy back. But we can't be just trading 1 trophy a season. That's not good enough for Liverpool. At least the FA Cup is ticked off, but still, I thought we'd get the Premier League done quite easily. Obviously not. And Sheffield United win the Carabao on penalties over Manchester United. And could we maybe win the UCL before we actually crash out of it? Because we did finish top of the league phase over Barcelona, over Leipzig, beating Athletic Club Bilbao 4-2 in round of 16. However, Manchester City, the team stopping us because they're back on it. And that means no UCL title for at least a season, because we're not going to win it this season or next, but still, the Europa League next year. It could fast-track us back into the Champions League, plus win us the Super Cup. However, create a Ballon d'Or winner? I think not, but maybe. We could sign one this season, despite being in the Europa League, use the Liverpool pull. Because honestly, Van Dijk is now 83 rated in the Europa League. However, I still feel confident with our defensive options, switching for Joe Gomez. I'll probably make Mohamed Salah my captain, then I do want another striker now. Jota is 89 rated. He's scored a lot, but I want flair. When you look at the way we play, we're not focused on defenders, we're focused on attackers. And Jota being a false 9 maybe doesn't work. Maybe we need someone who can be a striker alongside Florian Wirtz. So it's basically Wirtz and someone else up front. And now my big brain move comes in signing Sonko. As now we've got 137 million and we've just signed a Swedish wonderkid. And there is a Swedish striker who's been linked with Liverpool a little bit in the past. Alexander Isak. Now he's 3 years younger than Diogo Jota. This would be the perfect move, and it's also in the perfect season because actually if I go backwards, contract expiring in 11 months. Stealing Alexander Isak in a mastermind move, getting him a Swedish player already at the club to help him settle in from Newcastle. Another signing I think we've played perfectly, and now all round I think our team is good. There is the centre-back option, which we do have a little bit of money to go for. And seeing as I do want to grow Bajcetic, I am going to have to sell another player actually to get the man that I do want. Joe Gomez or Virgil van Dijk? Well, actually none of them. Harvey Elliott, because we do have Ben Doak growing. We've just signed a left midfielder and we've just got an extra striker attacker in. I'm going to sell him over to Aston Villa despite the links actually link him to Wolverhampton. They're rivals, but also this Portuguese kit links us to our next signing. Another rumoured man in real life, the Ruben Diaz regen, Thomas Rauho, Portuguese from Benfica. joins Liverpool. The Portuguese defender who puts fear into the Premier League. Aston Villa doing very well, but they cannot compete with Liverpool. 2 defeats, 7 draws, 29 wins with 94 points means we tick off another trophy that is 3 of 7 down right now. However, like I said, I want more and more trophies as the FA Cup we have already ticked off, and reaching a finale is not bad at all. However, the FA Cup still not ticked off, so that is 1 missed. Losing to Birmingham City, not a great defeat at all to take, but the Europa was our focus, and we danced through the league phase easily. And I went straight to the finale because, let's be honest, we should have been winning this hands down, and we do. Now, this doesn't count as a trophy, but it should heighten the expectations of a Ballon d'Or, and plus it puts us in the Super Cup, which we will be back in next year, and with this team, I fancy us for it. Gravenberg and Kirkez are the lowest rated players, under 90. The rest of the team is stupendous and superb put together. I can't string full sentence together, but still, we have some releases. Now, Alisson is gone, leaving a keeper for next season, same as Robertson. Endo's finally gone. He has just collected trophies without really putting anything in. And then Phillips, he's been at Liverpool way too long. We've got Morton and Pachetic, who's been out on loan, but goal scoring, because Ballon d'Or is what we want to win. Isak, not as many as I thought he'd get. 22 goals for him, only 17 for a 35-year-old Salah, and then Gakpo and Wirtz getting the most. That's our first, I would say, big trophy ticked off our list. Yes, we got the Europa and the Champions League right there, won by Bayern Munich. That's what I want to win. Of course, the Super Cup's going to be difficult as well. That's just a one-off game we've got to try and do it in, as the Champions League they want winning, the board, and the Premier League and FA Cup title. John Henry not holding off. He wants every single trophy collecting. And the team we'll face in that Super Cup, as we already know, Bayern Munich. The team that Liverpool kind of stopped Florian Wirtz from signing, but kind of didn't. Wirtz wanted to select Liverpool, and he did do, so he's staying here. We know priority number 1 is a backup goalkeeper for that bench. Now, Tyler Morton, he might be a bit tall, or he's 5'10", but he's definitely not playing in goal. We've got Pachetic coming back from his loan deal. I'll put him on the bench for now, and then we could try and fit a first-teamer in somewhere. With 150 million, you'd think we need to replace Alisson, our number 1, but we kind of don't, because Mamardashvili, he steps in with the transfer request in, which he doesn't really need to have in anymore, and plus Curtis Jones, I've changed him to a CDM, so he is successfully the backup for Ryan Gravenberg. We kind of sorted, so now I'm looking at age-wise of the players. Mohamed Salah, we've got Ben Doak, who could cover him, but he's now 36. Jota getting old also, maybe a striker next season, but not this. Then Kanate is 29 still. I think he'll keep going as a centre-back. So maybe a Salah replacement for the future could be the thing, and a player that was loosely rumoured. Magnus Ikalush. Tell me in the comments if I've got that right. I probably haven't done. He could be our only signing, because I'm honestly not looking for anyone else right now. I am praying for it, but before that, we do have the Super Cup. Please don't let us down. Oh, a 3-0 demolition job. In a one-off game, Isak hat-trick does give us that next trophy we need. But now, could we have 2 before the season's even finished? With the Ballon d'Or, but no. And it doesn't even go to a Champions League winner. Vinicius Jr. again wins it in 2028? I just don't believe it. How does he always do it? That is 3 seasons in a row, or actually, no. It is 2, and then Kvicha won the first one, I believe. Anyway, we've won the Premier League, 105 goals for us. That surely means one of our forwards, either it's Isak or Cody Gakpo maybe. Salah or Wirtz have scored the most goals, even Akilush, as the Community Shield was also won, alongside the Super Cup. We have won the one-off trophies now, and I've skipped straight to the Carabao, because that is the only domestic one we needed. 2-1 over Fulham. 2 trophies left. and the two hardest ones in the Ballon d'Or and Champions League. As the FA Cup, we didn't need it anyway, and we actually lost that one. I'm not too fussed as in the Champions League, 5th position. Now, I'd play this game if we won it. Yes, we'd still have to go on to see if we got the Ballon d'Or, as we beat Atletico de Madrid 5-1, smashing them. And then we beat Manchester City, our bogey team, 3-1. However, then in the semi-finals, it is Real Madrid with Vinicius Souza, or Junior, should I say, actually beating us 3-2. And the final hasn't actually been played yet, but I swear to God, if they win it and Vinicius gets the Ballon d'Or next year when we need it desperately, I am going to be fuming. And we should be winning it this year because look at the goals scored by Isak. 51 in a season. That is genuinely crazy for this man here. I swear to God, if we don't win it, and we do go on to win the UCL this year, which is our ultimate aim, I am going to be fuming as even on the bench. Oh my days, I forgot it. I didn't sign a backup keeper. What am I doing? Completely escaped my memory. How many games did Giorgio Mamardashvili actually play last season then? Because he's still got his transfer request in despite getting all the game time he needed. And despite losing to Real Madrid, I feel like we've got the team we need to go and win the UCL, as 161 will help us. Or definitely getting a new keeper in will help us. So that's the first thing I'm shopping for. And I'm going to act very snappy on it. Trubin, who's a decent backup. I mean, he has to be for 61 million and he has took a sporadic role to the team. So bin off Alisson and Mamardashvili. Now it's Mamardashvili and Trubin in one of the biggest tongue twisters of all time. I'm trusting Gomez. I'm trusting Connor Bradley. I'm trusting Bashetic, if he's ever called upon, to actually do a job in the defense. And I am desperate for that Ballon d'Or, but I actually don't want to sign another attacker. You can see Salah is now 37. I think he will get funnily replaced by Alikiush or Akilush, however you goddamn say it. Curtis Jones I'm actually looking at. Liverpool through and through, but I'm actually getting a little sick of seeing him. Can we improve upon that position with someone Liverpool wanted in real life and never ended up getting? It is Martin Zubimendi, wanted by Arsenal, wanted by Liverpool, and now Real Madrid in the race. Now, I don't know if we'll afford him. Still, he's a defensive player. This is someone I actually want to be cautious with money about because I don't want to be overpaying for him. I think the maximum I'll go is 50 million. Connor Bradley, no. I'm definitely not trading our backup fullback, the only one we've really got. So I'm going to say no to Zubimendi. And instead, I'm going to sign up more contracts because we've got likes of Mamardashvili, Araujo running out, and also McAllister, a big game player who hopefully gets himself into a big game at the end of the season in the UCL finale. However, before we get to that final, there is one thing I wanted more than the UCL now, and that is the Ballon d'Or won by Alexandra goddamn Isak. I mean, 51 goals for one player. He did deserve it. Yes, we didn't go and win the Champions League, but come on, you've just got to forgive and forget that fact. We've got players in here who have won it, including Mohamed Salah on the right. Then Florian Wirtz. How he hasn't won a UCL trophy is beyond me by now. Look how good this man is, man. He is 27-year-old, so in his prime as Isak, improving more than him at the moment. McAllister's brilliant. Kirkesh, Mamardashvili, but our top scorer this season. Was it in doubt? Because it's Isak again. Our Ballon d'Or winner. If he could go back-to-back, that would be fantastic. If we don't win the Champions League, we will get to see how we've done in that. But we're starting off with this. Winning the Premier League once more, which is not the trophy needed. And we don't win the Community Shield, though. 3-2 to Manchester City. A defeat in the FA Cup finale to West Ham United, of all teams. And nowhere near the Carabao Cup finale. So not good trophy-wise in knockout competitions, but we still do well in the league phase. Getting us straight through onto RC Celta Vigo. That is just such a good get. Or a good draw. And then Barcelona, another Spaniard team, kicked to the curb before Bayern Munich 3-1 and Paris beat Chelsea on penalties. As we're going to face Paris for I think the second time in a rebuild in a row and end on a UCL final, which of course we've just got to get played now. Oh dear, and it is at Old Trafford. Akilush in the lineup over Mohamed Salah, and this is going to be a tasty one. They've got the first Ballon d'Or winner, Khvicha, in their team. We've, of course, got the latest one in Isak. We are in the supposed leaked away kit. Might have been released by the time this video is going up. It isn't at this time of recording. Vitinha, These are the UCL winners in real life. Do they need a rebuild on the channel? Let me know in the comments below. As McAllister gets the ball early on, Florian Wirtz. I said he deserves this trophy, and he should have scored the opener. Very, very unlucky, but it's Alexander Isak winning the ball back right now, and Akilush in the lineup by the skin of his teeth, doing a circle and then shooting well. Should be really scoring for me. And now Kvicha. All my days around Araujo, but Mamadashvili, the Georgian, unlucky, as now I'm thinking about the nationalities in this lineup. We've got Georgian, now a Frenchman on the ball, a Hungarian in the defense. Akilush, you've got to score. You've seriously got to score, taking the place of Salah. A fraudulent miss, but here he is with the silky footwork on the wing. Needs to try and find Alexander Isak. He's not really getting involved in this game. We've got Wirtz, who should be running in front of him, who isn't doing, but will go out wide into Hakpo. He scored a lot of goals, cutting inside, but that's a failed cross. Nothing much coming of that first half, but still we've got a full half to go, and now Isak on a turn. Florian Wirtz finally makes that run. He's inverted, and I like to score just after the halftime whistle. Florian Wirtz drives the dagger through PSG hearts, who want their second UCL title. I want Liverpool's first in the slot era, and that was slotted in. Fantastic opening goal, but still, PSG will not give up. It is Sanchez. Oh, I thought that was in the back of the net there. So close. We've got to keep switched on. McAllister, I'd not give him much recognition for that role he's actually played as a full CDM, not a centre mid or a cam as Jeremy Frimpong. He's got the pace. He's absolutely siphoned down. It's got to be a red card now. Alejandro Balde, I believe that is. And yes, he is off the field. Theatre of nightmares for that man. And we're going to take this free kick shot. I'm trying to put a good move together. Or if he would have got the cross right. Akliush, a little disappointing. I might have to try and put Salah on. And same with Isak, his positioning. But now he's through the middle. He's got the finesse shot. He still missed it. And Akilush, how are you not scoring? Terrible misses. Now Renato Sanchez still going in a Paris shirt. We've got Wirtz in front of Isak. Now he waits for him. He doesn't get a clear run. And if Isak can return the favour, it could be the Florian Wirtz show. It is 2 for the signing that should be happening in real life if they pay that money. Unselfish play from Isak. Look, he goes down a bit of an avenue. Then he passes it back into Wirtz on the left foot. The world's best player has turned provider in this case, but can he join in himself? He goes for the left-footed one. It's a save by Kobel to Godi Hakpo, who tries to keep it alive. And I've said his name completely wrong. There's a man. There's a nutmeg. There is Frimpong going for it. Dutch link-up almost works. Akilush, is he better at crossing from the left-hand side? No. But that should be the end of the game if nothing else happens, and it doesn't. So it is a 2-0 win for Liverpool after some drastic improvement here in slot success that has carried on since, of course, last year when he won the title. And Kanate is going to be lifting it a little bit in memory of Virgil van Dijk, who obviously did get a little bit old. His partner is still going, Florian Wirtz, Mamadashvili. 2 players that should be joining Liverpool very soon. Of course, one is a permanent player who was out on loan, Florian Wirtz. I want it to happen. And if you want another rebuild to happen, comment them down below if you want to see another team in the 25-26 season or any. Or if you want one now, click on screen.